I'm Bev Adams. I'm an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up. This is the card I'd like to show you today. It uses Ribbon of Courage and the support ribbon framelits, and I also used watercolor wash for a background, and I used the new garden trellis folder. My card base is the thick Very Vanilla cardstock. I am so happy to have this thick vanilla cardstock now. It's great for card bases. And I've got 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 for your basic card base. Then I have 2 strips of Daffodil Delight. These are 5.5 inches long. This one is 1.5 inches wide, and this is 3 3/4. These are designed to fit nicely with the trellis. And I have 2 strips that are 1/4 by 5.5 of soft suede. I also have some scraps of Very Vanilla. I'm going to start by stamping the watercolor wash. When they're so large, if you leave the stamp on the table and then ink it with your stamp pad, it'll be easier. You can decide which side is up. I think I'm going to use this side. And I'm going to put my card on the stamp and cover it up and rub that way. You might actually even use another block so you get a nice even pressure. This stamp set has some wonderful greetings, and any of these would look lovely with this card. But I'm going to use Live Every Moment, Laugh Every Day, and Love with All Your Heart. Stamping it in soft suede ink. And I'm stamping up in this top right corner. I'm putting both of my Daffodil Delight strips in the garden trellis folder, and these are lined up with the links of the trellis. They don't match up exactly with the length of it though, but you should be able to put them in pretty much side by side and run them through the Big Shot. So we do not need the thin die adapter. We need a bottom plate, the folder with the cardstock, and a top plate, and I'll run this through the Big Shot. And they came out beautiful. So I'm going to put the wider strip on the front of my card. And this is adhesive of your choice. And I'll put the strip of soft suede there too. My friend Karen suggested that I continue to remind you to keep your green glue in a jar or a candlestick holder with the tip down. It reduces a lot of frustration as you're waiting for that glue to slowly drain to the tip, because it's already there waiting for you. You do want to be on the inside of the crease, not right on the crease. And that just adds a little bit of extra to the inside. And that's a beautiful card just like that. But we're going to use some of those scraps of Very Vanilla, soft suede ink. And I'm going to stamp this 2 times. And I can use a Daffodil Delight marker if I want to color in some of these flowers. You can use either tip. The brush tip is perfect for coloring, but these are kind of small, and so you might want the extra control with the journaling side. I just really quickly colored the cards, but I really colored a lot more than I needed to. I really should have just colored this strip right here, because I'm going to snip that off. I'm going to snip this off of this one. So I'm going to cut these with the Thinlit. I will need the thin die adapter and my cut up plate and my cardstock and my Thinlit, and cover it up with the clear plate. I'll run this through the Big Shot, and I'll run it through a second time for the other ribbon. So I have my card base, and I have my two ribbons. I don't know if you can see on my sample, I've actually got 2 layers, and I didn't really like that. So I'm going to whack off this one. And I'm going to whack off, this is the one that's just the overlay. And I'm whacking off that. And I'm whacking off this one. So this one I'm going to glue to this section here. And I'm using green glue for that. But I wanted to put a dimensional right where they cross. And of course I've got green glue there, but that's okay. So put a dimensional right where they cross. Line these up. And then you can put this on with dimensionals. And put this a little bit over this section here. And that's my card. These ribbons have been used to support many different causes, and I googled that and I found lots of different colors. Of course, you could change all the colors on this card, change the color of the cardstock and the ink. And I will have this with my full instructions, but I liked the yellow because it does support the troops. It also supports the missing in action and POWs, suicide prevention, adoptive parents, Amber Alerts, bladder cancer, spina bifida, endometriosis, and a general symbol for hope. I thought that was really lovely, so those were the colors that I used for this card. Also, if you want to add a heart, and there are hearts in this set, it's used to represent the survivors left behind after a suicide. But maybe you don't want to use the support ribbons. There is a heart and a flower with this set. I used the heart exactly the same way as we did the ribbon. And I used a 2-inch circle punch for the Daffodil Delight and the new 2 1/4 inch circle punch for the soft suede. If you would like the full instructions with all those color codes for the Ribbon of Hope, come on over to Bev Adams. I'll have that PDF that you can print out. I will also have a link to all the supplies that I use for this project. Talk to you soon. Bye.